Hello, welcome to Tabletop CP, and welcome back to video 3 in the Stonewall Brigade project, the paint plan. Alright, so we're over at the workbench for this video to talk about how I plan on painting these guys. So I'm fairly new to the American Civil War, at this level at least. I am familiar with the major events and battles and leaders and stuff like that. But I've never gotten into uniform types, uniform colors, and different types of equipment and stuff. So needless to say, I've been doing a lot of research into this lately. And I've decided to try something new for this project, and that I'm going to try to not reference how to paint videos and painting guides and stuff like that to tell me exactly what color I need. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to just use my experience in painting armies, which I have a lot of, to just eyeball the colors and just pick them out for myself. There is one exception to that, and that is the butternut. Now that is a very common color in Civil War from what I've read so far. And just digging through all the colors I have, I don't seem to have a good analog for it. I don't know what to use. So I think I will have to do some research on that one. It's sort of a unique looking color. It's almost like an ochre, but more orange, or not orange, but more brown maybe. And I really don't feel like mixing it either. That's another thing I don't want to do, is mix two colors to get it. I know I could, and it wouldn't matter that much if I had to remix and it was slightly off, because all the variation in shades and fading and all that. To keep it simple though, I just like to have one color for it. So if you do happen to know a good color for butternut in Games Workshop or Vallejo, let me know. So the first thing I had to do is to look at the minis and figure out what are they wearing here. So uniform wise, they're all wearing just pants. Nothing really to say about the pants. They have, except for that, they come in a wide variety of colors, which is nice, as it adds a lot of variation. So after pants, you go to the coat. So the coat is the most varied thing, even more varied than the hats, as I've broken it down into 3 different types of coats that these guys can wear. So they can wear a sack coat. So a sack coat is a more cold weather thing, but I think they probably wear them year round. Usually it's a little bit thicker, a little bit longer than the shell jacket, which we'll look at in a minute. And there's a nice picture of a bunch of guys. A lot of them are wearing the sack coat there. And then after the sack coat, there is the shell jacket. So the shell jackets are a little bit more shorter, a little bit more form-fitting than the sack coats were. And then the officer sack coat is going to have, obviously, a look a little bit more embellished with a bunch of embroidery, an extra row of buttons. So that's pretty cool looking there. And then after that, they wear shirts. So some of them are just wearing shirts. Not really a lot to say there, just long sleeve shirts. And we'll do those in various colors, which we'll talk about in a minute. The next thing would be the hats. There's 2 types of hats everyone knows about here. It's the kepi, as you can see here on these guys in the front rank. And then there is slouch hats that you can see kind of mixed in with all these guys. So they even mix, it looks like, maybe 50-50 for the hats, which will be the kepis and the slouch hats. I also have some officers that I'm going to have to paint, and I was looking at officers' coats. So here's one here. So it's sort of like a shell jacket with a long bottom on it. And then there's a picture of an older, maybe original version of it in butternut. So next up is the equipment that they're wearing. They're either wearing it across their body or holding it. The first one is the musket. So there's a musket, and then it comes with the bayonet. So you can see it's black, and it's going to have a kind of a brass looking tip on it, and the bayonet itself is going to be a brighter metal color. Then we got a couple of types of canteens, and the minis also have a variety of canteens. The first variety or the first one is this one here. It's got a sort of a khaki or tan cover on it and a leather strap. And then there's another version that has a dark gray and a white strap. And then there's a cartridge belt there. So that's black with a black strap. And then another canteen, just a different version with a different kind of cover on it. And then they had a really cool looking wooden canteen with a leather strap. Then after that, pretty much the only thing left on these guys to paint after painting all that, well, they do have a bread bag. I think all of them have a bread bag on them. So there's that. That'll be just pretty much any color. And then the boots. The boots I'll probably just do in black and brown. Alright, so now that I know what everything is and what general color it's supposed to be, the next thing I need to do in the paint plan is to determine how much of each I have, what ratio I want to paint them in, and then I need to figure out the colors that I'm going to use for it. As far as the uniforms go, the plastic Perry stuff, there's 3 varieties. There's the sack coat guy. There's quite a few of those. There's the obvious shell jacket guy. Not as many of those. And then there's a third sort of undefinable uniform, usually on these guys who are wearing the blankets. It's hard to tell if it's a shell jacket or a shirt. I'm thinking that's probably intentional though, so you can paint it however you like. And of course they're all wearing pants, thankfully. And so the next thing I would need to decide is the ratio I want to paint them. So I do want them to be ragtag rebels. I don't want them to be 100% ragtag, if that makes sense. I'm not going to paint every single guy a bunch of different colors. I am going to paint about half of them, I think, as standard Confederate gray, as I do want the army to have a cohesive feel to it. It also speeds up the painting a lot too. The less of the ragtag look that you do, the faster it goes. So for the uniforms, so half of them are going to be gray, so that's going to be all of the shell jackets are all going to be gray. Then half of the sack coats will be gray. And the other half of the sack coats will probably be butternut. And then with all the shirts, I'll just do a bunch of different colors. So the gray that I'm going to use is going to be this neutral gray. That's going to be the main Confederate gray color. And butternut, like I said, I don't have that yet. The shirts, I'm just going to do different colors. So I have some different shades of blue that I can use. A Cantor blue, Prussian blue. And those will probably be what I do the shirts in, along with a red and maybe a buff as well. Just a variety of different colors to add a little pop to it. The pants, I'm going to do 4 different colors. So I'm going to follow the method I used when I did my Napoleonic French. With them, they're sort of ragtag, as in they're all different, wearing different colored greatcoats and different colored shako covers. So what I did for each of those, the shako cover and the greatcoat, I just took 4 different colors and mixed them all, each one around on the minis, and it looks great when you put them out. It's just very varied and adds that ragtag feel. For the blankets, I'm going to do something similar to the shirts. Use various shades of blues. I'll add a green in there for that, just more variety. And I'll have some tan, buff colored blankets as well. The hats, the shakos, the kepis, I'm going to do most of them in gray. I'll do a few butternut kepis, and then the slouch hats I'm going to do a bunch of different colors, at least 4, maybe 5, a black, a tan, a butternut, and then a brownish brown, some kind of a brown color. I haven't decided which one. I have a lot of shades of brown. I got black brown, I've got flat brown, mahogany brown. This is where I'm going to do the musket in, is the mahogany brown. And now that we've talked about the musket real quick, I should also mention that I'm going to do the musket a couple different colors. At least the stock is all going to be mahogany brown. But the barrel, I've been looking at some pictures. Some of them have just the shiny steel look, some of the barrels, and some of the barrels have the blackened steel look. So I'll do a mix of those. And looking at the rest of these guys here, next up would be the equipment. So the cartridge box and strap are going to be black. I might do some brown straps, haven't decided yet. Bread bag is going to be various shades of off-white to tan. And they do have bayonet scabbards. Some of them you can see it. That's going to be black with a brass tip. The bayonets on the muskets are going to be a shiny metal color as well. Canteens, those are going to be some various colors. So that's kind of like that first example we saw. That could be a tan, it could also be a dark gray. Some of these guys here have, a couple of them had, like this guy here, I think he has the wood canteen possibly. Now this guy definitely has the wood canteen. So there's the wood canteen, there's the bigger canteen with cloth cover, there's the oval roundish canteen with cloth cover, and I think, so this guy doesn't even have a canteen, which is fine. Okay, so that's basically 3 different types of canteens. I'll do those with a tan, a dark gray, and then probably a khaki color. Boots are going to be black or brown. That will pretty much do it for the paint plan. So I know what ratio I want to paint, I know what kinds of colors I'm going to use, and I know where I'm going to put them. So now that I know that, I have to decide how am I going to actually go about painting these guys. Am I going to paint all of them, all the line troops first? Am I going to paint all the skirmishers? Well, normally what I would do is I would paint a group of 8 line, and then I would paint a group of 6 skirmishers or some cavalry or a cannon to break it up, maybe reward myself a little bit. And with these guys though, the skirmishers are literally the same models as the line troops, just in a different pose, same everything else. So painting up a group of skirmishers after a group of line isn't really going to be much different. So what I will probably do is I'm going to build the cannon between one of the groups. I'll start building the cavalry between some of the groups. I'll start painting and painting the cannon and the cavalry in between line groups. I also have some Indians and some more Western stuff that I can use to break up the monotony of painting 5 groups of line troops for American Civil War rebels. So the next thing I will do is paint up this group of line infantry, and I will use these as a test to test all the different kinds of colors I want to use and just see what the group looks like when I'm all done. And then when I'm done with those, I'll come back and we'll do an update and show you what they look like. I have been considering doing, since I'm going to do 4 different pant colors, I was thinking, well, I could just do all of the guys in one group, all one pant color, and that would speed things up. So all these guys would have blue, all the next group would have brown pants, all the next group would have gray pants, but I'm not going to do that, because even within painting the group itself, the different colors help to break up the monotony a little bit, and pants are easy to paint. So breaking out 4 different colors on 8 models, not a big deal. I'll probably do 4 at a time. So we'll see. That's how I've done it. I've had success doing it that way, so I see no reason to change what I do. So we'll see what happens. So next time we get together for this video series, we'll be taking a look at this group of infantry fully painted. And thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you then.